Hello everyone, my name is Stacy Roshan and I'm so excited to share with you today how to use Explain Everything to create very simple but robust flipped classroom videos. This is an all-in-one tool to create, write, record, and even share a link out with your students. I am going to show my personal setup. In my personal setup, I am using a Wacom 1 tablet, and that is what I use to create all of my flipped classroom videos. The Wacom 1 tablet is a display style tablet, as you can see here, so that I'm able to see my screen and I have the pen tool right all in one. I personally use a Mac, and I simply plug this in. There's a USB and an HDMI that I plug into a hub. It's very simple. That's what I love using. So that is what I recommend personally. But if you're looking for a smaller option, more portable, and something with a lower price point, then I recommend the one by Wacom. So that's the one with the red on the back, the one by Wacom. And this, as you can see, is the small one. And it is a slate style tablet where it still comes with the pen, and the pen still feels great, but you do have to look up at your screen to see where you're writing. So I prefer with my flipped classroom videos to have the display screen. So this is what I use, and that's what I'm going to be showcasing the most today. So a little bit about me. Who am I? Again, my name is Stacy Roshan. I'm the Director of Innovation and Educational Technology at my school. I also have a website, techiemusings.com. If you ever want to contact me, I am also on Twitter. My handle is @BuddyXO. In addition, I am the author of Tech with Heart, leveraging technology to empower student voice, ease anxiety, and create compassionate classrooms. And in my book, I actually share my journey of flipping my classroom. Back in 2010 is when I started, and I was writing the book in 2018, and I actually lay out a timeline of my flipped classroom journey and how it took me years and years to get to the place that I am today. And I do want to share that as saying that it takes a lot of time to get all of this worked out, and it's just one step at a time. But what I hope to do today is to share some of what I've experienced over the years, because getting the right tools is half the battle. So I hope to share with you some things that I know work, some techniques that have worked really well for me and my students to hopefully help you as you get started or you want to take your flipped classroom game to the next level. So this video is going to focus on an introduction to using Explain Everything, which will allow you to use all of the robust tools that they have available here and also record and even do some editing right in one tool. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use Explain Everything on the web, because that is what I use combined with my Wacom tablet. But I did want you to know that Explain Everything is also available as an iOS app and also as an Android app if you already have a tablet that you would prefer to use. So let's go ahead and go back to a new project. And let's create a new project from scratch. So in Explain Everything, you can start with a template, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to start with a blank canvas. You can then join with your microphone, which I am going to do because I want to record a flipped lesson in this case. As you can see with Explain Everything, it can be just a collaborative whiteboard also. You can invite others, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet and focus on some essentials here. So there are a bunch of tools here. There's the pen tool, which I will focus on first. You can change the colors, and of course you can change how thick you want that to be. So I'm going to just start with the red pen and start with a quick hello. There's also the hand tool, and I really want to focus on the pen tool and the hand tool because the hand tool allows you to move things that you've created, just like that. And the pen tool allows you to draw. And those are the two most important features for me. There's so many other features here. I can't get into all of them in a short video, but I want to focus on just 2 more things before I show you kind of how I get started with creating my flipped lessons. So there's a laser pointer tool, and I think it is very effective to be using a laser pointer tool anytime you want to point something out or highlight things when you're talking to your students. Now, the laser pointer tool, you actually have some fun ones that are available here, but I often like to use a thicker laser pointer like this, or even a arrow just like that, so that I can call out attention. If I'm writing, I don't find I need to do that. Writing and talking is the most effective way for me, but if you do need to point something on a diagram and so forth, I encourage you to use these laser pointer tools. I think it's a game changer. If I wrote something else, then when I go to use the hand tool, you'll see that this moves separately from this. There are instances when I want this whole thing to move together. That's what this inspector tool is for. When I choose the inspector tool, I can highlight everything like that, and I can group it as one object. Then I can go back to the hand tool, and when I move it, it is one object. The other thing I want to show really quickly is if I added a shape, let's go ahead and just add a simple rectangular box with a red outline. And if that is on the top and I really wanted that to be in the background, that's where the inspector tool again comes in. Let me just click on the box there, click on arrange, and then send it to the back. And that's how I can deal with layering. Now, one more thing that I did want to showcase, because I didn't know how to do it at the beginning, was say that you create something like this, okay? And I want to rotate my smiley face. If you actually choose the hand tool and you hold down the Alt key and you select the little smiley face, and then you scroll on your mouse on the trackpad, then you can twirl the object, which of course you're not going to be doing smiley faces, but maybe you draw a line or something like that, or you insert an image and you need to just be able to rotate that. So I'm holding down the Alt key and using my trackpad and just going up. That was very helpful for something I needed to know. In addition, if I use the hand tool and I just select a certain object and I scroll up or down with my mouse wheel, that allows me to resize that object, okay? So I can resize any object by clicking on my scroll wheel. And this one was grouped, that's why I'm doing it all together. This one was not in my group, so it would act separately. There are many more options available there, but I'm going to stick to the essentials. Those are some getting started tips that I have. Now, when I create my flipped lessons, a lot of times I like to use different slides, and I create a lot of mine in PowerPoint or Google Slides. So what I can do is I can actually go up here to this Add Media menu, and I can choose File. And if you save your PowerPoint or your Google Slides as a PDF, then you can easily just pull them in just like that. You get several options. You can choose to pull them all into one slide as a grid, horizontally, vertically, or as separate slides. And I'm going to show you as separate slides today. So I'm going to insert the 5 pages so that now when I go to my next slide, you can see that I have that slide that I can write on. And at this point, I would start recording. So that's what I usually do is I usually set my scene, I usually set everything up, and then I start recording when I'm all ready. The last thing that I want to do before I press the record button, show you how that works, is there is this zoom button here. So it's not just that I have all these slides that I can navigate through here, but this is really an infinite canvas. Think of it as your whiteboard in your classroom where you have a lot more space than just this little view here. So what you can do when you click on this little icon down here is if you scroll on your trackpad, your mouse pad, pinch in and out, you can see that this is an infinite canvas where I could even be writing over here and over here, and I can move around just like that. Now, if you want to keep it simple, don't worry too much about that, but I do want to mention that as a really powerful feature here. So let me go ahead and delete some of this stuff. I can delete using the eraser tool, or like I was showing you before, I can select with the inspector, delete, and there we go. So now when I reset my zoom, I can have just my slide. Let me go ahead and record. Hello class, welcome to my video. So we are going to be going over 2.2, the limit of a function. At this point, I want to show them this comic right here. So I am going to zoom a little bit, and I'm going to just pinch in and move it so that I can show this comic, zoom in on that piece of information, explain this comic to them, and then when I'm done, I'll just click on the fit again. And then when I'm done with this slide, I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to move to the next slide. At this point, I'm going to pick up my recording again, and I would explain to them how to solve this limit problem. I won't take you through all my math class today, but that's how I do it. I'm going to stop recording. And now I'm going to show you a little bit about how this timeline works. So how this works is you just click on however long the video took you, click on that, opens a timeline, and here's where you can do some editing. You can zoom in and out on the timeline to see more or less. So say that I had, a bunch of blank space here where I wasn't talking, I wasn't doing anything else, maybe I was messing up at that point. How you can edit this really quickly is you find where you want to start deleting. You click this little icon right here, which is a selection, and then you just scroll on over. And here's where having the pen tool makes it even easier. So much easier to do than with your mouse, I think. It's just very natural here. And then you can use this icon right here, which allows you to delete and compact, and it just totally deletes that little pause that you had or that big pause you had. So you can do that in multiple regions. Of course, make sure that you weren't writing something at the time. I'll just go ahead and delete this. And then you can see where I started writing right there. So I can play it back to listen. To them how to solve this limit problem. I won't take. So you can see that these icons right here means that I was doing something at that moment in time. I was writing. So that's really nice. You have a multi-layer track here. The bottom track is your audio and the top track is whatever you are writing, inserting objects, typing, etc. Now, say that you made a mistake. Say that, starting right here, I messed up the whole rest of it. There are a couple things you can do. Go ahead and find that mess up point like here, and then you can use this option, delete all to the end, and that would delete everything to the end. Undo to put it back. Another thing that you can do is find the mess up point that you had. Maybe even you want to split the track just to make sure you have a firm split from where you messed up. And then click on, instead of the mix would allow you to add on to something you did before, even if you want to do a voiceover after the fact, which is what I'm going to dig into in the next slide. I'm going to show you how to just do a voiceover, but the overwrite would allow you to do exactly that, overwrite. The recording will overwrite anything after the 7-second mark. And so I could do that if I wanted to. All right, so let me show you more about when you would use this mix feature. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so say that I wanted to kind of explain this limit definition. So say that I had a lot of stuff to write. What I could do is I could start by muting my microphone and just writing. So record and write. When I'm all done writing, press the stop button. Then I just have my writing here. I can go back to the very beginning, and at this point I can unmute my microphone, make sure that you're on mix, and then you can start recording and just do the audio voiceover. So you would be able to see what you're writing, and you can just do the voiceover to talk over the writing at this point. And some people really like to do it this way so that they don't have to write and talk at the same time. I suggest just doing whatever feels most comfortable to you. A lot of times for me, I like to write and talk. I'm good at doing it that way, but I know other people like to write things and then they actually like to go into the editor and maybe trim that up and then do the voiceover as the last step. I think sometimes it depends on what subject you teach or what type of video you're making. I know for me, it does depend on what type of video I want to make, and then I decide if I want to do the voiceover. But that is an amazing option that's available right here too. If you messed up your whole recording and you want to start over, like this slide was just a mess and you want to do it all over again, that's an option too. You can just go ahead and click on the trash can and it deletes the entire thing. So I did that quickly. Let me go back to this slide that we had and click to open up the editor. Just go all the way to the beginning and click on the trash can and it deletes the whole entire clip like that. If you mess up anything as you're going, there is this very handy undo button that allows you to undo a lot of things. The undo button actually works in the editor too. So if I, for instance, I showed you Let's select this clip. Let's trim that. Oops, I didn't mean to. I can undo within the editor. So the undo works in the editor. You can use keyboard shortcuts like Control or Command Z to undo also. And there's a lot of keyboard shortcuts that I do recommend you getting familiar with, like changing from the drawing tool D to the hand tool V. A lot of times it's easier to just do that on your keyboard while you're writing like that. Okay. Last thing that I want to share with you today, because I have kind of my whole video now done. I recorded by slide, so that was easiest for me. So if I messed up, it was just messed up on that slide. I could redo that slide. So I have all these separate slides recorded. Let me record a quick little introduction here. I'm actually going to zoom in first, kind of set my scene, and then start recording. Hello everyone! I hope you're doing well and you're enjoying this video so far. Go ahead and press stop. Just give it 1 minute and then you'll be able to see the audio wave file down there. Beautiful. I could edit, trim if I wanted to. And I'm all done with my project. So I'm going to just press the export. And the easiest thing to do is to create a web video link. You can also export the video as just a document. If you want to be able to print your slides, that can also be very helpful. So I do want to mention that you can export just the slides. There is not an option to export as an MP4 here, but I'm going to just show you that in case you need that. Let's create a web video link, and that's it. I would just copy this link, and that's what I'm going to give my students so that they can view it. It's probably going to be processing for a moment. Yes, it is. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute when it is published. Okay, now that it's ready, you can see that this is one video clip. Even though I recorded side by side, it's one video clip. Something else that's really nice is that you can open up the slides and you can just scroll through them. So if a student needed something on a specific slide, they can find that information and just play from there. That's great for review. I always love giving students that option. And you can see, hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. When I zoomed in, I only saw that zoomed in region. So the zoom holds true to the recording area, and I really enjoy that also. Here you can see how the laser pointer worked. Zoom a little bit, and I'm going to just pinch in and how my zoom worked. All of that. This is where I can, again, just share this link with my students, or you can download it, and that would allow you to download it as an MP4 if you need that option. Now, final thing that I want to say before I finish is, where do you find those links? You say you forgot to copy the link. So you would go back to your main projects page and then find the project. This is the project that I was in. Just go ahead and click on that. And then if you scroll down, you can click on edit if you want to edit the project. Or if you scroll down, then you'll find all the times that you published that video and you created a link. So that's where you can just grab that link and share it with your students. And the privacy settings are set so that only people with the link can view, which is wonderful. And if you published one of them and you didn't like it, you can just press the trash icon and it would just delete the web video link. It wouldn't delete your whole project. So that's good to know as well. There are, of course, so many other things that you can do. I wanted to keep this as short and sweet as possible. So I hope you found this video helpful and that you enjoy creating a video of your own. Bye for now.